What's going on, guys, and welcome to another Doctor Who review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 15th Doctor Ncuti Gatwa story, The Well. It is Series 15 / Season 2, Episode 3, The Well. This is one that a lot of people have been looking forward to. We'll get into it later, but there's been some, I don't know if it was leaks or just like thoughts that people thought that this one was going to be linked to a previous episode. I think Russell T Davies did actually say something about there is a link here between this and a previous episode. So and a lot of people were speculating on what that link was, and it turns out that it was true. But yeah, I was interested going into this one, a very spacey episode, kind of like episode 1, I guess. We kind of went back into the past for episode 2. We're now into the far future in episode 3. So let's get started with the cast. Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor. Yes, Ncuti in this episode, he's all right. I'm going to be honest, it's not one of my favourite performances by him. He has a few moments here and there where he's doing his technical stuff, and he is very good. But for me, and it's something that I haven't touched upon massively in these reviews, there's just something about his Doctor that I'm not a fan of. A lot of it is the whole, there's the crying thing to start with. We'll get onto that later. But the thing, he calls people babes and honey all the time. One of the soldiers actually calls him out and he's like, "You don't call me babes." And the Doctor's like, "All right, honey." I kind of thought that was a little bit funny, partly, but also I was with that guy. I'm like, yeah, please stop saying this. It's just, the babes thing especially is just, it's too often to, if it was a very rare occasional thing, maybe I wouldn't mind it, but it's so often that it is just part of his character, and I just really don't like it for the Doctor. But yeah, other than that, he's fine in this one. There's a few little decisions here and there that I think aren't great, but ultimately, acting-wise, it's fine. Farada Sethu as Belinda Chandra. Yep, Belinda's back again, of course, as our companion for this series, and yeah, in this one, she's fine. Once again, there's nothing really stand out for me to say about Belinda in this episode. She does an all-right job finding out there's something weird going on with Earth here, because these people don't know what Earth is when they really should. There's a bit of emotion there as well. She's trying to help out this woman, Alyssa. Alice is her name, isn't it? As well. And yeah, I think Varada's fine in this episode. I think Belinda's character is a little bit all over the place with whether she's happy to be traveling with the Doctor and whether she just wants to get home. She seems to be 1 minute she's one thing, 1 minute she's the next. So I think that needs kind of, fleshing out a little bit more. But other than that, yeah, performance-wise, very good. Right, so let's get into some points about The Well. Starting off with, the TARDIS has the exact same spacesuits as the people on this planet. So we're starting off with a negative thing for me. And the fact that I picked this up straight away, I have the habit of missing things quite a lot when I'm doing these reviews. But the fact that I picked up on this, I thought was just interesting. Yeah, they do their whole kind of TARDIS costume change scene again, which I liked in the last episode. I think it worked well. I think in this episode it wasn't really needed. Playing Toxic by Britney Spears again, of course, the song that played in the Enemy of the not the Enemy of the World, in the End of the World. Yeah, I thought it just didn't really fit very well. I think in those kind of the classic episode settings like last time, it fits better. With this one, it just didn't really fit for me. The Doctor then coming out of the, on like kind of the bridge thing, and he's like doing these weird like rap gangster sort of signs. I just thought it was really cringy and silly. I didn't really like that whole scene, although like I said, I quite liked that scene in the last episode. Just didn't really like it here. But the fact that they are literally wearing, they haven't even stepped out of the TARDIS at this point, and as soon as they step out of the TARDIS, then all these other people, this crew from the ship rock up, and they're wearing the exact same suits as the Doctor and Belinda are. Why does the TARDIS have the exact same suits? What? Why? How? It doesn't make any sense. A colony base full of dead people. So they get off the ship with all these people. They find out that these people are here to see what's going on with this colony base full of people. They haven't heard from anybody on this base, and they want to know what's going on. So they're going to, see if they can find anyone, any survivors or anything. Now, at first, because I'd already heard, and we'll get into it straight away, I'd already heard the rumors that this was kind of a sequel to Midnight, the story from Series 4 with David Tennant, the 10th Doctor, and Donna. I'd already heard about that. When they started talking about a colony base and just the look and especially like when they're looking down that well and the shot that they do kind of from in the well, looking up at them, looking down into the well, I thought with the colony base as well, I thought, is this actually a sequel to like The Impossible Planet or something? Like I actually thought that for a minute, colony base, nobody's here, this big well. I'm like, oh, is this actually different to what we expected? Turned out it wasn't. It is a sequel to Midnight. But I thought that I liked how that kept us guessing there. But yeah, there's this colony base and it's just full of people that have either been shot or every bone in their body broken. A deaf woman called Alice is the only survivor. So we find the sole survivor of this colony base, Alice. She's a deaf woman. And yeah, she's just kind of sat in this room all on her own, dead bodies all around her, dead bodies throughout this whole base, and there's just this one woman here. So I was like, oh, I'm intrigued by what's going on here. I liked the kind of connections between her and especially the Doctor. When the Doctor's doing sign language, he was the only one doing sign language because nobody else knew it. But they had this kind of thing that they pressed on their, like a button they pressed, and it basically put out text so that she could read what they were saying. So I quite like that as a thing, although it would have been nice to see everybody doing sign language. These people don't know what Earth is, but they should. So yes, this is where Belinda and the Doctor find out that these people, it's like 400,000 years in the future, or I think 400,000 years since the Doctor was here on Midnight last, and they find out that they don't know about humans, but they should. They should know about Earth. These people don't know about Earth at all. The Doctor says something about, but Earth's part of some, I don't know, I can't remember what he says, but he basically says a thing like, you should know what Earth is, but they don't. So that's obviously tying into what's going on with Earth, with, not being able to get back to Earth at this exact point in time, May 24th or whatever it is. There's something going on there that's, wiped Earth from history or something. Belinda keeps seeing things behind Alice. So we get our first kind of look at what the villain is for this story. This is before the Midnight thing is revealed. We'll get onto that in a second. But Belinda keeps thinking she's seeing something behind Alice, but Alice is like, no, there's nothing there. Nobody else sees this thing for quite a long time. It's only Belinda seeing it for some reason. But yeah, Alice is like, no, there's nothing there. I don't know what you're talking about. Eventually, though, Alice does open up and does explain what's going on, what happened. And this is where I have another big issue. Why does Alice not just tell them straight away, this is what happened, there was a thing behind someone's back. They killed when you kill the person, because that's another point that I'll get to in a moment, which we might as well just talk about now. If you kill the person, the creature is behind. So this creature is always standing directly behind a person, and if you kill that person, it then goes behind you, the one who killed the person. So that's what kept happening. They kept, people kept killing the person, went on them, then they got killed by someone else, and it was just constantly happening like this. And Alice was the only one left alive. So I'm just a bit baffled as to why she didn't think to mention this. I guess people were kind of going insane around her once they were figuring out what's going on. But if she just straight up said to all these people, look, this is what happened, this is what's going on, maybe we wouldn't have had all the deaths that we had. It didn't really seem to make any sense to me as to why Alice was keeping this information secret. This is the planet Midnight. So yes, we have the big reveal that this planet is in fact Midnight, the planet from the episode Midnight. It has changed names. It's called like 6767 or something now. And I really like the reveal. I like the atmosphere of the scene, the Doctor's face, all that sort of stuff, Planet of Diamonds, and then bam, it is Midnight. I like the reveal. Would have been better if I didn't already. I mean, I didn't 100% know that this was going to be midnight, but I had a feeling going into this one that it was going to be. Not knowing that knowledge previously would have made that scene even better, but even still was awesome to see Midnight back. I will be honest though, once it was like, yep, this is Midnight, I was a little bit worried because I was like, okay, let's not ruin Midnight now though. Let's keep this going. Let's make this good. The creature can't see itself, so they use Mercury as a mirror, so it sees itself and leaves Alice. So yes, there's all this Mercury on this planet as well as diamonds, I guess. And the whole thing is, because we saw earlier that there was all these mirrors that had been broken, because this creature cannot see itself. Because if it sees itself, I don't really know what happens. It's not really it's not. I mean, it leaves Alice, but it then just goes on to Belinda, doesn't it? So it's like, all right, well, what was even the point of that, really? But yeah, so they end up, getting all this Mercury down. It sees itself. It pushes pushes Alice away, and they think they've gotten away from it. Of course, before that as well, I can't remember his name, but the soldier that kind of takes over charge from, I think her name was Shire, who was the leader. He kind of starts, for some reason, killing everybody off. I don't really understand why he just decided, oh, let's kill all these people off by, moving the thing around. And the fact that Alice just keeps looking at him and having this, it just doesn't really make any sense. Like, Alice is just looking at him as he's like walking around and making all the people behind her die from this creature. It just doesn't really make any sense, that whole scene. Shire shoots Belinda enough to take the creature off her. Now, this scene didn't really make any sense for me. So, the whole thing for this episode is that Shire has been named as, like, she's a really good shot. She's like the best shot in the land. So she's going to shoot Belinda just above the heart, so it doesn't kill her, but it gets the creature off her back and onto Shire's back. And then in the end, Shire jumps into the well to trap the creature back in there, so that, she puts it back in the well, because apparently this creature somehow got out of the well. We don't know how it got out of the well, but she's going to jump into the well and trap it down there with her. And I mean, she's going to be dead, I assume, because she's fallen down a massive hole. But yeah, I don't know how, because the whole thing with this is that if you kill the person that the creature is behind, it goes onto you. She doesn't kill Belinda. I mean, she has to be, like, resuscitated, but so I guess for a second she dies, so maybe that makes sense. But how does the Doctor ever think, yeah, you know what, we'll let this happen. I trust you to shoot her enough to technically kill her, but then we'll be able to resuscitate her back again. It's just like, that is far too big of a risk for the Doctor to take, surely. And yeah, I mentioned Shire jumping into the well to trap the creature. Well, turns out she hasn't actually trapped the creature, because there's kind of a little teaser at the end of this creature is still on this ship. Once the Doctor and Belinda leave, a couple of the other soldiers, it seems like the creature is still there behind one of those soldiers. So I liked Shire's sacrifice, although I didn't really agree with the whole shooting Belinda thing. It didn't really make any sense. I liked the sacrifice. I liked that moment. Shire was actually quite a good character. I did quite like her. But it kind of, undermined that when it turns out this creature is still here anyway. And I did think about that. I thought, well, she's jumping into this pit to get rid of this creature, but this creature came out of the pit in the first place somehow anyway. So what's the chances it's just going to be able to jump back out again? And, well, looks like that was the case. So that is the well. In regards to, do I think this episode, made Midnight worse, or, because the whole thing with Midnight is the creature, we don't know what the creature is. We have no idea what it was. We never saw it. I was worried that they were going to show the creature and kind of give too much information about it. I'm glad they didn't. That is one thing I'm very happy about with this episode. They didn't show the creature. Whether the Doctor actually saw it, because there was one moment where he cries, where it seems like he's actually seeing the creature, although apparently you can actually also hear it talking, and one of the reasons why Alice is still alive is because she's deaf, so she can't hear it whispering to her. But the fact that we didn't actually see the creature and we didn't really learn anything more about this creature, I'm very happy about. But there were also a lot of things in this episode that I wasn't particularly happy about. So a rating out of 10, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I thought this was a good episode. It wasn't as good as Midnight. Definitely not as good as Midnight. I preferred it to the first episode of the series, though, The Robot Revolution. I do prefer Lux quite a bit more than this one, but for me, like, if we're going episode 3 for episode 3, like for like with series 14, Boom, this is on about the same level as Boom for me, I think. The atmosphere was very good. There was some very good stuff going on there, but I think there were just a few things here and there that just didn't really work, didn't make a whole lot of sense. So yeah, a 7 out of 10 for The Well. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.